You are now listening to the Andre Renee's Creative Cafe radio show. This show focuses on the arts and the artist's God-given talents. We strongly believe that you are your passion. And on today's show, we have Mr. Rome Anthony. And I told him he was putting me on Facebook Live. He's going to make me nervous, and he just made me mess up my whole beginning monologue. It's all your fault, buddy.
Hey, I'm sorry about that, my brother.
How you doing today, Master?
Do you?
Good to see you again.
Hey.
So I just saw you yesterday.
Yesterday.
And we was at your TV show.
Yes, sir.
But before we get into that, we want to talk about you as a child growing up in Chicago.
Okay.
As a child, you was into the arts. Tell us about that.
Well, okay, like most people in my era, Bruce Lee was somebody we watched on the big screens when we snuck into McVickers. This was a theater downtown, 3 kung fu movies for $1.75. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And but bullying really became part of my life. I got bullied, and I'm an only child, so I didn't have any siblings to teach me how to fight.
Okay.
I found me a dojo at the Salvation Army, and from there, the karate and the judo didn't look like what Bruce Lee was doing, so I went on a quest to find what I saw in the movie screens.
Okay.
And then when I met a real martial artist, I should say martial art, a kung fu teacher, he recognized that I wanted to be in entertainment. So he taught me real kung fu, but he allowed me to still play with the kung fu.
Right.
Matter of fact, he encouraged me to pick up any and every weapon. It's just about any weapon that's in the 18 weapons of Shaolin I can operate very well, because he allowed me to play with them. And then when it was time for me to learn how to use it, I was familiar with the usage of playing with it, and I just had to understand the proper usage, because martial arts teach you about your weight distribution. If the guy's bigger than you, how you still can beat him, like David and Goliath.
Right.
It's the same principle.
Right. But David had a 45, right?
A 45-inch rock,
right?
Whatever it was.
Right.
But so it's just, and I use martial arts to inspire me in everything that I do.
Okay.
There was a point when I was learning the internal aspects of the martial arts, but I also was on my Christian walk, and the two were both asking me to get in tune with something that I just didn't make sense, my spiritual connection. But both of them hit me at the same time, and the answer kind of came simultaneously. I understood my relationship with God.
Okay.
I was introduced with my relationship with God, and I was introduced with the spiritual aspect of martial arts, the internal, the chi, to being able to feel
energy,
that.
right.
And the thing is, it's all the same. It's different, but it's all the same. And it's better to look at it as the same, because if you look at it as different, it might prevent you from understanding one or the other, or both.
Right.
Whereas if you say they're the same, you could feel it, you could hear it talking to you, or you could feel it manifesting directional things. It's I'm gonna go this way, that way. Just walking every day. But not only that, when I'm fighting, do I block this way or that way? Because if I block that way, that might cause this to happen. If I block that way, it causes that to happen. What's the advantage and disadvantage? And all that is a flow. You're constantly moving. Like when you move, if your shoulder's too high or too low, which is out of alignment. When people in professional sports tear up their knee, and they're tearing up not the muscle, but the ligament, because they're using it improperly. Right. The martial arts slowed me down. I'm a natural speeder on everything. I talk fast, whatever. It slows me down. Right. And then whenever I move and say, okay, is my weight distributed properly on this leg and back to the other one? And then I slowly getting that muscle memory, I know left from right. Right. And boom, boom, boom. And all of a sudden, I'm here today. Because when I met Bernie Mac after the play that we did, I also just became the Midwest champion in this martial art tournament. And it was an honor bestowed on me. It was a great tournament. I was in fighting, and I had that confidence. Right. So I was like, I can get on stage. I just finished a play.
So would you say that your martial art training gave you the confidence, gave you the confidence to perform on stage? Because I sit here as you were voted class clown in high school. Yeah. And so, were you practicing then, or you just acting out?
No, both.
You was acting out and practicing?
Both. Because if anybody from my high school tell you about the fight I had with Ivy Davis, I used my kung fu techniques to keep from getting beat down, but I didn't win. Right. No, this dude was huge. Actually, that was like my David Goliath fight, because he would hit me, and I would block it, And my whole body still went up in the air.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, this how big he was. And then they still talk about that fight because that was our senior year. And actually, although I got the honors of being class clown, the actual class clown got in trouble, and I was the runner-up. So there's no real honor in being a runner-up. But I guess since I'm in the book, I won.
Right.
Thank you, Guan Hollins. I'm using everybody's name. That's right, Guan. And Guan is a preacher today in, I think, St. Louis.
Oh, yeah?
I'm sure you're going to get this, Guan, because if you're not messed up, Guan, you would have been class clown and nobody would know me.
Show you right. Now, a lot of people, to me, I'm a funny guy. I was on your stage, your set yesterday, and I remember Leslie was here last week, and we had a wonderful vibe, and so we was going back and forth with jokes. He won because it's his profession, but I like when I captivate a room. Right. So before each message, when I pastor, I come out and I do whatever I do. I do a poem before each sermon, but before that, I feel the crowd. I talk to them, make them chuckle just a little bit, so you can relax them, take their defenses down. But reality, that was my way of getting away my jitters. Yep. So Robin Williams, and may he rest in peace, he stated that a lot of comedians are comedians because they suffer from depression or they have issues. So my question, when I make people laugh, is to make sure that I am, calming myself down, because it's easy to make you laugh, and also so I could get the ball rolling. Do you have a motive behind why you're funny, or is it just the entertainment part?
My comedy, once I recognized it from the conscious, from the subconscious to the conscious, I use my comedy to hide my disability. Disability. I see words on paper that's not there, or I see a similar word and run with it, but the kids used to laugh, and it was easier for me to just let them laugh than admit I made a mistake.
Okay.
Because, like, the first time I went and got a colon cleanse, I said I'm going to go get a colony cleanse. If you look at it, though, colon and colony is kind of similar in the structure. So I kind of glanced at the word, and then I said colony cleanse. Everybody, colony cleanse. Boy, you stupid. Ooh, ha, ha, ha. And it was just, like I said, it was easy to run with the I'm being silly as to admit. I'm sure that back in the day, because I came out of high school in 82, so most of my education was in the 70s. They didn't have labels for schizophrenia, dyslexia, and all those other ADD and ADHD. I think I had all of it. Because I'm a victim of my father was shot. I was a wall away from my father in 1968. He was shot in the pool hall while I was getting my hair cut in the barbershop chair.
Wow.
And I've been fatherless ever since.
Wow. We're going to take a break.
Okay.
These commercial breaks are brought to you by Andre Renee Spiritually Spoken. If you're streaming Spotify, Tidal, or etc., please stream this poetry CD. Be right back.
Call now.
And you are back to Andre Renee's Creative Cafe.
Woohoo!
And we're here with Mr. Rome Anthony, and we was discussing off camera or off air about being bullied. I have a little bullying story myself. Being a light-skinned brother, just in case you missed that. And my family, my father's Italian, my mom is African American. So I had.
Hey, let me question though. Did your father know how to make chitlin Alfredo? With chitlin Alfredo with a bit of mushrooms, a little garlic bread. Now you take the garlic bread and put a little eucalyptus on it, and it kind of dilutes the chitlin, But the chitlin Alfredo, Mamma mia, that's a spicier swine. I'm sorry.
Thank God my mama didn't like that swine. I promise you, we didn't touch no chitlins. And God bless whoever they do, but there were no chitlins in my house. Mama, I love you. I know you haven't. Thank you for no chitlins or those feet things or those ears or whatever else they was eating. But nevertheless, I was bullied as a kid.
Okay.
And so that's how I have a bullying presentation that we're going around the whole country. We're going to start right here in Northwest Indiana, and we're going to go to city to city to city. Spot it, stop it, bullying presentation. It is wonderful. And my bullying book, which the book you saw, I didn't write the book because of that in general. But the problem with my bullying is I felt bad for the people that was bullying me because my family were fighters. And when I moved to the housing development, I call it Avenue condominiums, but really it was the projects. Dude, it's like it was 100 of us, and we all went to school back in that day. We all went to school. So the adverse situations for my bullying is they got beat so bad for trying to bully me. I felt bad for them. Like, don't take my lunch because you see that table? Yeah, that's all of my buddies. And they're going to protect me. So I felt bad for people who bullied. I had to take boxing in high school to learn how to fight because I never had a fight until I joined the boxing team my junior year in high school. And so bullying is a huge thing. It's a bad thing. And people be on the watch. If I could plug this for my bullying presentation, spot it, stop it. We're traveling the whole country with this presentation. We are going to make a dent in this bullying thing. But you were in the chair. Your father had a situation in the room next to you. Mm-hmm. And continue, please.
Well, after that happened, went through, my mother grabbed me and we moved to Cleveland on a one-way ticket. Mm-hmm. But then her father passed away. So we were brought back maybe, I don't know, a year later, year and a half later.
Back to Chicago?
Yes. And then my grandmother and grandfather were those people that they both worked at the phone company. They did everything together. So she died maybe 18 months after he died. Mm. So then after that, we had an uncle. He died after that. So my mother lost her husband, father, mm-hmm. mother, brother, mm-hmm. and was a single parent. By 1972, it was just me and my mom. And the rest of our life, God had to put His unchanging hand,
right,
unmanicured hands, right. Unscathed hands. People say unmanicured. There ain't no Koreans in heaven, so unmanicured hands. But I'm sorry, but I do know that God covered us, and it got me to where I'm at. Between my martial arts, my mother knew that she couldn't be my father. Mm-hmm. But she made sure that I had male influences in my life at the right time. Mm-hmm. I remember when her boyfriend slapped her, and if I was a daughter, the lesson was, you only get one time. Right. And he was a good dude. Mm-hmm. Made a mistake. I mean, the friendship maintained, but never gave him a second chance, and I understood that. Mm-hmm. It probably kept me from slapping women, and I wanted to slap women because Billie Holiday, now Billy D. Williams, and this is Billy D. with Coke 45 malt liquor. Wasn't that cool? I just thought it was cool. You don't think about the effects of that, baby. I didn't mean to slap you, but come on, if Billy D. can do it, why can't I do it? I got the hat on. Pow,
So we're gonna just be clear. We're not an advocate of the Coke 45 Hallelujah Christian radio station, and we're not an advocate of the slapping.
No, I'm just saying though. No, it's not a joke. It's the look. I grew up black and white TV. Cigarettes. When I act, I have a tendency to naturally pretend I have a cigarette in my hand. Mm-hmm. I wear hats because the imagery. Right. It's the imagery. No, I don't believe, and that's a true story. My mother got hit once. I've never hit a woman because of that. I respect women, but the imagery didn't stop me from wanting to be able to do it, because I'm not thinking about the real effects. I'm thinking about the theatrical, what you see on TV. Like, why can't I do that? Mm-hmm. Just like, remember as kids, cowboys and Indians, we didn't mind calling an Indian a pale face, and we don't know how racist that was. Right, we were participating from see, if we was to live our lives the way children live their lives, there would be less insults that are real and more, I'm sorry, because, remember that? You met a new kid and you go, hi, and you just elicit joy. Now be like, what up, man? You be like, oh, what that goof, beep. I beat myself up. But, it's a different. It's a different day. But I do believe that God protected me and my mom because she's still here. Mm-hmm. I'm still here. I've been married for 22 years, been with my wife for 25. My daughter was just over here with her fiance. We had a great meal today. And it's like, I look at my life and I appreciate what I have. Right. I never think about what I don't have. Right. And just like my man, when I said hope is something I believe in. Mm-hmm. But that don't mean when I say I hope something's going to happen, I know it's going to happen. It's just that I know my God told me. When we was on Instagram last night, he said, you don't get a tracking number. You get the blessings. You just don't get the tracking number. Because if I had a tracking number from God, I'd be like, yo, UPS, no breaks, deliver my blessings right now. Right. Or you will be in Pelican Bay. But, my life has just been all over the place, almost like I don't even know what to call it. It's just I've had an eclectic life. I love. Let's talk about Columbia University. Columbia.
Yes, you went there.
I had a great time in Columbia.
Now, when you went to Columbia, were you trying to discover the acting part? Were you trying to discover the comedic part? You trying to do
television broadcasting? What I'm doing right now. Right. I've always wanted to produce. Right. Like when I write jokes, people are like, you talk too much, because I'm not writing a joke, I'm writing a script. So I'm writing a whole, all my jokes have a visual, and a lot of times you don't have that time to paintbrush that. So I've had to teach myself how to go open, jump, boom, here's the punchline. Right. But I would prefer to just bring, because I'm more of a emotional actor. Like the 4 parts I'm playing in 2019, all of them have some emotional connection. Even I told my director the other day in rehearsal, can I make the people feel? I'm playing a man named Freddie Fred with prostate 4 cancer in February. And she was asking me my connection. I said, I want to go there. I know I'm a strong survivor, and I'm like, no matter what, turn your cries into smiles. But I want to cry. Or I want my audience to think I'm about to go, and then go, nope.
You embrace yourself and your character.
Yes, but that's how I think. But you said something earlier. You tell jokes to connect to your congregation. I tell comedians when you start comedy, it's not to be funny first. It's to connect with your audience, and then insert whatever. We didn't tell no jokes yesterday. We told stories yesterday,
right.
But some things was funny, some things was just, but it was entertaining. But we connected with we had an audience full of children.
We did.
And I was like, you don't understand how that made me feel so good. You saw that picture, I'm sure.
Yeah.
With all those people, but all those young people. Up until yesterday, I believed that children was our future. And I was like, we in trouble. And I said, no, look at them.
The first show back. Yeah. I saw that it was a different experience for me because it was my first time being on your show or on our TV show. And
That's your first time on TV, period?
Period.
Oh, that
Yes.
you did well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Again, you guys were warm and welcoming. It was a family-type
I'm
atmosphere.
going to need you to stop saying we was warm as close as we said. And just rephrase it, please. No. But yeah, because you know what, though? You know how they say build and shall come? When I created Wrong Way, it was just I need an avenue so I can flourish as an entertainer.
Right.
But as I was putting it together, God said, no, do this. And God said, do that. And I looked up and I said, whoa. And then when I came up with it's my mission statement, Rome's Way, a comic perspective on Chicago. Rome's Way, introducing Chicago to Chi-Town comedians. Rome's Way, exposing community people doing phenomenal stuff. And, when I read that, I said, did I write that? And then when I said it to my team, they was like, whoa. And then when I said it to other people, it's self-pride. It's acknowledgement of the people around you. It's not even about me. But it's got my name on it, which means if I perish, I would have left something. And right now, I'm agenda-driven. I'm an agenda, what's the word? Legacy. I'm driven by my legacy. Because on my next birthday, I'm about to be the double nickel. That's 55. I made it sound cool. But what I'm saying is, before I go, I want people like, well, what did he do? And I told my kids, burn me, put my picture on the wall with a microphone. Don't you let nobody. My sons listen to me. I don't want nobody to tell me, oh, no, wasn't nothing sad about my life. Nothing. Losing my father at 4, my father left 2 brothers here.
When we come back, we want to talk about the legacy, because it's something you've done that I want to do so bad. These commercial breaks are brought to you by Andre Renee Writes Publishing Company. That's ARWRITES. That's our children's books. If you have a child, buy one of our books today. They will enrich their lives. Be right back, people. Welcome back to Andre Renee's Creative Cafe. And you are here with producer, director, comedian, man of God, Anthony Rome. I'm a little envious. Yes, let's just be clear.
I mean, I understand. Go ahead.
There's a place I wanted to go before I started radio, before I had just penned my poetry CD. And I started writing jokes. I write jokes for exercise. I don't want to be a comedian. I don't want to stand up. And I have a lot of jokes, a few jokes. So I said, well, I need to get in front of people to test the water. Second City. Yes. You've been there.
Oh, yes.
And all of the people that came through Second City, people, when I tell some people about Second City, they don't know what it is, and I unfriend them. It's a gym right here in Chicago, and all of the greats been through Second City. Tell the world, because you know the world is listening, right? Everybody likes Andre Renee's Creative Cafe.
And they should.
There you go. Tell the world about Second City and why I'm envious.
Let me preface this too, though, because Chicago lacked something that I'm part of building. We had industry before we had community. I learned this in New York. Now we're building our communities, and then we have industry. Now, Second City is a place where they teach improv, to enhance your stand-up, to feel the energy, give and take, to learn to take a breath, to learn to feel your timing of your comedic moment, not just the joke, the comedic moment. It's almost like Kung Fu, to feel the chi where you give and take. So I think that's why I did so well. I didn't do Second City. I had to do the Players Workshop, which is what was their preliminary first. And then by the time I finished my 8 sessions with Players Workshop, family came and I never finished. But I've accomplished it. But Second City is a phenomenal place. My man Harold Dennis is down there. He's an actor of 100 films, but he's down there getting his improv on, and they're making him do stand-up. And everything's coming full circle.
I gotta go.
You got to.
I gotta go.
Because you'll find out that you might end up, you know what, you may not become a stand-up, but understanding that energy, when you're trying to reach the masses,
Right.
it helps.
Right, indeed. My purpose, my the reason for being is a different. It's different from being a comedian or actor. I do want to do a few roles just to get my feet wet. But my purpose is my bullying. My purpose are my books, and that's where my drive is. So all of my energy is going there. It's for the radio show because we have people like you that can talk about their passions. There's people in this world that want to be who you are. That want to start in roofs.
Why do you want to get your feet wet?
What is it called? Roofs.
Ruth what?
The Book of Ruth?
Oh, the Book of Ruth, the play.
What's up, Renee Hill?
Hill.
You know we love you, right?
Right.
We love you so.
Oh, I love Renee because when we met last year, I was dropping Leslie off for rehearsal.
Uh-huh.
And she was like, "Can you act? Can you sing?" Of course. And she's like, "What?" I'm looking. We just came from working out, and from there I became like her confidant. And she said, "Promise me you won't leave me." And I've been by her side through her productions, through her trials and tribulations. And it's been, and I think I shared this with you, but a lot of my friends know I walked away from church several years ago, and in doing so, this year 2018, I played in a play called "Why I Don't Go to Church No More," and I was like, wow. And then I'm in Testimony. We did that in September. We getting ready to revisit in February, and then I meet this guy named Andre Renee, and I'm like,
I know that.
God is talking to me. I don't know what he's saying yet, people, because I'm not gonna rush God, but he's talking to me.
Right.
But that's what we were talking about. So if you want to check out Second City, don't waste your time. Get down there immediately.
Sure, you're right. Let's talk about Renee's play you got coming up.
The Brook of Ruth. I'm playing Francois. That's a French cook with a cat that I treat him like my woman. My mom be like, Marcus, I'm not wearing any cat litter, whatever. But the Book of Ruth is a current version of the Book of Ruth, but it's set in a restaurant. So you have to see it, and how she writes that story into that, it's amazing.
She's a powerful woman.
Oh, yes, she is.
She's a powerful woman. We got a segment that's called, before we give them a segment, tell everybody how they can find you. Tell everybody about Can TV, Rome's Way. Give yourself a shout out.
Okay, first of all, you can find me, Rome Anthony, comedian Rome Anthony on Facebook, Rome Anthony 50, Instagram. That's my Twitter handle, at Rome Anthony. Rome's Way is my YouTube channel, Rome's Way, ROMESWAY. But I also got two other old Rome Anthony 45, 46 channels. I just don't know the password, but you can follow me anytime. I appreciate the opportunity to be on your show. We're going to do great things in 2019.
Indeed, great things in 2019. We have a segment on this show. It's called What Would Jesus Do? This is going to be a great one. Would Jesus allow, or would Jesus facilitate comedy in general? Now, people's like, well, how can you say that? Comedy, dude, it's like laughter's fun, good for the soul. It's biblical. So in my opinion, Jesus probably got a few jokes of his own.
He gave me one. He who findeth a wife, giveth up his side piece. Thus saith. I didn't write that. Jesus did. WWJ. Oh, that was What Would Jerome Do? I'm sorry.
That was What Would Jerome Do? Hey, people, look, and we appreciate you, Brother Anthony. Rome Anthony, God bless you. Thank you for.
You see how he grabbed my hand? He kissed my host's hand yesterday, but he kissed mine.
Well, see, you got about that. And so, God bless you.
Catch it on that TV screen.
Every Sunday at 6:30, Andre Renee's Creative Cafe. We have vibrant guests just like we have today, comedians, actors, the whole 9 yards. This is a show that focuses on the arts and the artist's God-given passion, talents, the whole 9. We love you. Come see us. See you next Sunday.